Today's very interesting news about David Beckham provides damning assessment of Manchester United players. Legend speaks out. Beckham finally speaks out on Man United's slump, and his words are stinging. Manchester United troubles continued when they embarked on a swift post-season tour of Asia. For more information, watch the video. We also have some equally interesting football news, so stay tuned until the end to find out all. Welcome to Soccer Sphere channel. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell to get the latest information. Manchester United legend David Beckham has strongly criticized the behavior of the club's current players, stating that a lack of respect has been shown towards supporters on the recent tour of Asia. The Red Devils endured their worst-ever Premier League campaign during 2024-25, finishing 15th, before jetting off to face ASEAN All-Stars in Hong Kong less than 72 hours after the final game of the season against Aston Villa. United were humiliated in the first match, losing 1-0 to ASEAN All-Stars, before they were forced to come from a goal behind to beat Hong Kong 3-1. Tensions have been riding high at Old Trafford for a number of months, with supporters disgruntled by the team's continued underperformance for new manager Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese coach has been vocal about the need for United to rebuild from the ground up, openly stating a number of his players are not capable of adjusting to the demands of his system. Things escalated in Asia when Alejandro Garnacho and Amad Diallo were involved in separate confrontations involving supporters, the latter of whom used an explicit hand gesture after suffering what he described as serious personal abuse. But the behaviors of United's current group have drawn the ire of Beckham, who was a core part of the famed class of '92. Speaking on a CBS Sports watch-along of the Champions League final, Beckham said, "I don't like seeing what's happening at the club. It's true that it's the pitch that matters, but I see a lot of things that are not acceptable to me as a fan and a lover of Manchester United. You have to represent the badge. I've seen a lot of things where players didn't act in the right way. We understood what it meant to play for Manchester United. We understood what the badge meant. Everywhere we traveled, whether in Europe or Asia, we respected the fans. We respected the fact that they came and paid money to see us, to get an autograph or to take pictures. You have to respect that." Beckham's observations follow a very blunt assessment of things at United from his former teammate Gary Neville. The now Sky Sports pundit was aghast at Luke Shaw's post-Europa League final interview, where the left-back stated that many players need to look ourselves in the mirror and decide whether we're good enough to play for Manchester United. "When the players are starting to come out and question publicly whether they're good enough to play for the club, you know how bad it is internally there," Neville vented. "You imagine what they're saying to each other inside. I have this thing about negativity spiral in my businesses, in my life. If I hear the energy-sapping negativity spiral starting to move, whereby you can feel people starting to have an influence over the others, I think you've got to wipe it out. You've got to wipe out every single player in that dressing room who doesn't believe that they've got total and utter confidence to play for that football club. There were some players on that pitch and some players on the bench who I think can still do a good job for Manchester United. I don't believe it's a case of get rid of them all. I think there's some talent in there. I believe that. And this idea that they don't care, I'll repeat what I've said many times again, never, ever think that of football players. Do they want to lose football matches? Do they want to be criticized on social media? The answer is no. They do care. They've worked thousands of hours to get to this position of playing for the club, but the club is eating them alive. The club is eating them alive. It's too big for them.